Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. It's a kind of Halloween edition,
Happy
and
Halloween, everyone.
there you go. You already heard my NWA ride or die, Mr. Lockram. We are going to do the last NWA 76 episode this week on X5. Yes, V, that is right for those of you that are listening instead of watching. V's trying
Okay.
to count. So it is Scotland, so getting to five is as class as A levels.
I'm lucky I still have five fingers.
And crazy enough, she still has five fingers. But welcome, Fee, to the show.
Hello.
For those of you that have just obviously joined us on YouTube, Fiona is in the very much the Halloween spirit. She has a
Ghostface. Hello, Sydney.
pillows and whatnot. And I was criticised because I had my light this way.
You were not criticised. I just said you were looking very pale.
I was looking pale, so I've had to turn my light this way to make me look normal. Otherwise, I was looking like a ghost, apparently. But I was getting into my Halloween spirit, shall we say. Nevertheless, let's get this going. So NWA 76 Part 5, the final part of NWA. Let's just quickly talk for you about obviously the future. This was potentially the last week of NWA on X.
On X? What is
Nothing.
the future?
Well, I was about to say
Nobody
nothing.
knows.
That is it. Nothing has been announced as to next week. Obviously, we know that they're from the power station next week. It is a regular taping next week. They did tape Samhain this last weekend. We
So
apparently,
we're going back to the previous Tampa tapings.
yeah, and the Samhain tapings are apparently going to be shown at sort of Christmas time, which is
Later on this year. So I saw a couple of photographs that fans had posted, and there was Christmas trees, but black Christmas trees with Halloween decorations on them. So I'm not quite sure. And then Deals was wearing his Christmas jacket, but with the Halloween mask and stuff. So not quite sure what's going on there. I definitely don't think we're going to be seeing Samhain anytime soon.
no.
And I don't know where we're going to be seeing it. And I love you, NWA, but you frustrate the shit out of me. Like, come on, guys, get it together.
Please, it would be
Please.
very
Like,
helpful
yeah,
to know.
we're now less than a week out till the next episode of Power's supposed to air, and no one knows where they're going to see it.
Probably do another
It's
announcement
like
Monday
history
night.
repeating itself.
Yeah, they'll probably do an announcement Monday night saying it's still on X. Due to
I would
leak.
presume it's still going to be on X. I can't imagine it turning up anywhere else at the moment, unless there's been some secret deal made somewhere and he's going to rock up on, I don't know, Peacock or, do you know, you just never know. But surely if there was a deal made, we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah, exactly that. I do agree. They have these thingies about leaving it till Monday.
It's
Yeah, the
so
day before.
frustrating. So,
Um,
so frustrating.
I would like it will probably be due to phenomenal success. We're keeping it on X, or due to our global fan base. We are leaving it on X, which will be fine for us. It's just nice to know.
And that we'll have access to it. But I was going to say, I don't know, I haven't seen, but have you seen anywhere what the viewing figures have been like? Because
I
I
can,
heard word that they were fairly healthy,
I
which
mean,
is
I can
good
only go
news.
by. I mean, obviously, the viewing figures of people that have watched this week's one, for argument's sake. They've already had 43,000 views of this week's.
Okay, that's cool.
And considering it's 24 hours removed, not even 24 hours removed from the show.
It was so good to watch it an hour early last night. It's the
So
one time I love the time difference.
yeah, so for us in the UK, we have this lucky thing called the clock's going back. It goes back later in the US. I get thrown by that when I'm trying to get interviews with talent in the US.
Sure.
Because it's an additional hour, and I'm just getting used to Eastern time being a certain time and
And
standard.
it's going to switch at the weekend again.
Is it the weekend it goes back in
Yeah,
America?
this weekend,
So right, okay, I've got to remember that. But yeah, due to that, we had it at 10:05.
which
Yeah.
was lovely. I was in my bed asleep before midnight last night on a Tuesday. It's unheard of.
And Fiona also become unscathed from Brutus Beefcake this week. You
I
didn't
did. I
get your
still
hair
have my hair for those of you who
disappointing.
aren't watching.
Brutus, what's going on? Disappointed, didn't you, mate? Should have done that. But anyway, yeah, let's crack on. NWA, obviously, it was a nice opening as usual, as it normally does. It has done for the whole of 76. But obviously, Billy, Deals, and Joe are our commentators, as they have been throughout the whole of NWA 76. And of course, it started with a good friend of ours. Well, not a friend because we've never interviewed the guy. We don't think we could ever interview the guy, possibly. I don't know how it would work. But Gaggz, the gimp, uh, was in action this week against Lev, who we haven't seen Lev in. I'm Twitter, we haven't seen both of them
For
in a
some
while.
time now,
I
yeah.
believe that Lev has signed though, because during the match, Billy did kind of hint that Lev is NWA
Okay.
going forward. The match was really, it was just a fun way to start, mostly trying to get Gags' mask off.
Multiple attempts. I think I lost count, but I think it was like 4 or 5 attempts
Yeah,
until he actually succeeded.
he did succeed. He did, yes, he did succeed, ripping Gags' mask off. But however, Gags was then went under the ring. The ref started the 10 count, and all of a sudden, Gags pops out with a different mask.
As if by magic. It's like Mr. Ben all over again, if you remember that show.
No, I'm not old enough.
No, I'm showing my age. I'm shocked.
It's not much. There's not much between us, but yeah. It was brown, the mask, Gags's mask.
And it was not zipped up.
It wasn't zipped up. To his credit, though, he still had to tie that thing up. I mean, unless someone is under the ring doing it for him, that is a no. It's even no mean feat for the person doing that underneath the ring to within 8 seconds to get that thing on and
That's
tied up.
impressive. That's practice.
Must have been his Gags reflex. Yes, had to get it in. He didn't hit the
And the
Gags
bang.
reflex this week. I don't know what movie he hit. They didn't say it was the Gags reflex.
It wasn't. It was called something else.
Slot bucket was what Dills called it.
Okay.
But that was Henry Godwin's finisher, for those of you that are old enough. You are as well. You know Henry Godwin.
Thanks for that.
But it was a slot. It is basically the Sting Scorpion Death Drop is basically what it is. Long story short, if you're a Sting fan and probably more of a fan of wrestling, you'll know. It's basically that. But Gags did pick up the victory with his new mask.
He did indeed.
Um,
Interesting that he was out without any of the his little
I
his
was going to say
bosses.
that
So
he
no
was out.
Sinister Minister,
No,
no Judas, no
no.
Max,
Well,
no Sal the
well,
Pal.
I'm more surprising with Salvation not being out there than anything
Yeah,
else.
so interesting that he came out on his own.
But also, obviously, with Max, we know there's been issues within the miserably faithful, shall we say,
Yeah,
due to Max losing recently against obviously Kenzie. Didn't beat Kenzie, and that's caused a lot of issues. Where we go with that, we don't know. But Gags did at least pick up the wins, and the Miserably Faithful do have a winner coming out of NWA 76, and that is Gags.
that is small victories and all that jazz.
Small victories, but Gags will take it. That's for sure. We then cut to our good friend May. I love May. She was getting a bit of abuse though this week. I mean, she was so. He was with Austin Idol. He was with Zyon, who's got the best theme music in wrestling history,
And
and
Magic.
Magic Jake Dumas or Dumas, depending on who you talk to. Austin Idol was just talking about things being big.
Austin Idol was just being Austin Idol.
Yeah,
And just being really obnoxious and turning his back to the camera the whole time.
yeah, and was kind of hinting that May liked big things as well. That was the brunt of the conversation, really. I don't know.
Pretty
I
much.
mean, this is the NWA after all, so we really, anything is possible and anything usually does happen on it. But yeah, it was just talking about how big, things are big and thinks she likes things big, and that was pretty much the brunt of it. I mean, Magic Jake was pulling faces throughout the whole of this interview. He didn't get a word in edgeways.
And then he kind of slagged off Jax and was like, "What have you done lately?" Nothing. And then basically, without saying it, called Baron a rip-off because he's like, "I beat the original."
Yes, that was obviously the Iron Claw, what he was
So
alluding to there.
it's just Austin being Austin.
Very much so. But it led us nicely to Z tag match with the man with the best theme music in wrestling history, Zyon. For those of you that don't
I
know,
go to sleep listening to white noise like that most nights.
and it is literally white noise. That is no music. There's no real music. It is just literally like you've turned your TV on and the channel's not quite like it was
Yeah,
in the 80s
static.
when you were waiting for the channel to come on in the mornings. Again, show might go
Old school.
yeah.
That's like my old black and white TV in my bedroom.
It was literally like that. It was just static, and that is it. I used to say it was like smoke when smoke comes out of when Edge used to have his smoke. It's literally that. I think I've said that before on the NWA, but I'll keep saying it. Yeah, it's literally that. It come out of Magic Jake against the Dane event, Jax Dane, and the Baron, the man with the new Iron Claw. And pretty much they were tagging in and out because
No one
nobody wanted
wanted
to
to
go in.
face him.
No.
No, and that was multiple tags in and out by
Yeah,
Jake and Zyon.
yeah, they were very
Um,
scared. Tim was
yeah.
just, or Tim, not Tim Baron was just holding that up there. They weren't having none of it.
Can you blame them?
No, I've never had an iron claw put on, and I don't really fancy the Baron putting it on me either. To be quite honest with you, I would
Not
rather
at
not
all.
see that. I'd rather not experience that. So Baron, if you're watching, no, I'm not interested. Thanks. Thanks. But yeah, and that was it. And then Jax got tagged in, and I love watching Jax work because he is like
Jax is a superstar, man. Jax is so good.
he really is, and he just throws everyone around the ring like they're not there. And he was suplexing Magic Jake and doing all sorts of mad moves. As see, it is Halloween. Fiona's cat
My
says
black cat.
the black cat. Have you got the broomstick anywhere?
That's upstairs.
Yeah, that's for another show. But anyway, and that's pretty much how the match went on. When Jax got in the ring, the wrestling kind of happened when the Baron got in the ring. Both the other two shit themselves and was trying to tag out for the majority of the show. Then things took a weird turn because the claw did get put on, but it
It
wasn't on Magic Jake and
mm,
it wasn't on Zyon. It was on Austin Idol,
Austin Idol. That was
which,
unfortunate.
very unfortunate.
Really unfortunate.
Yeah, I
I was
mean,
traumatized by that.
yeah, I'm going to lose sleep tonight because that's when I watched it today. Over it, you put it on Austin Idol, but that did cause a distraction to Jax Dane, who was trying to get the claw off of the Baron, and in there then gets rolled up for the 1, 2.
Yeah, cheeky wee pin.
Indeed,
Cheeky wee pin.
capitalization, Fiona. It's perfect. It is it's opportunism in wrestling, and that's what it is. You got to take everything. Listen, when you've got Baron on the outside, you don't want him back in, right? And if Jack,
This is true, but realistically, how effective would that claw have been? Because that hand took a bit of a beating during that
they
match.
did,
It
so
got
when at times,
stomped on, it got bitten, it got like Jake went to town on his hand to try and weaken it. So how effective really would that have been if he had got it locked in?
that I'm not sure, but you were right. When they did finally get the Baron in the ring, they were concentrating on injuring the hand of
And
Baron.
you can't blame them.
Again, it's opportunism. It's what you should be doing. If I announce that someone had a bad leg, or you started working on the leg of someone and you realized it was injuring them, or take away the strongest part of their arsenal.
Absolutely.
Good wrestling sense from Magic Jake and Zyon. But like I said, when he did eventually get the claw on, it seemed to have hurt Austin Idol to a degree, but it did cause a distraction, which unfortunately cost his team. And I just wonder how much Jax can really take of that, because if they're going to keep losing, because he's got to have one eye on the Baron in future
Hmm.
episodes, is this gonna affect the partnership?
I hope not. I'd quite like to see them do a little bit more. And we still don't know what happened to that number one contenders match.
We don't know. We don't know what
Like
happened.
they got announced as the winners of a match for number one contenders for the US Tag Team Championships, and then we haven't heard anything about it since.
No, we haven't at all.
Typical consistency issues.
Consistency issues indeed with NWA, but again, we don't know what the order of the match is being recorded in either. So this is another issue that we don't know about, to be honest. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But again, we'll have to wait and see about the number one contendership. Do or will they get the title? Will they get the shot? Nobody knows.
Has it been forgotten about?
Has it been forgotten about? That is the other thing, which we'll have to wait and see. Uh, well, we have to wait maybe till next week. We'll find out. Who knows? We don't even know if we're going to watch the damn thing next week. That's the other issue that we have.
This is very true.
Now you're going to have to remind me here, Fee. I don't have this written down. So was there any interviews before the main event?
So there was a little promo.
What have you been watching?
I know. What's that?
What have you been watching?
No comment. No, there's a little promo from William Patrick Corgan and a couple of guys in ring regarding their trip out to Forney in Texas. which I believe is going to be in conjunction with TSW.
Yes.
That is the location where they held the Crockett Cup this year. So they're heading out there in January for what they have called Shockwave.
Yes. I did have that written down. Sorry. I was thinking I've got that and the 10 bell salute. I
And
did.
then that was it. They had the 10 bell salute, and I just like to say it was so nice to see Curtis Chapman's name up there
Yes.
on that screen. We lost a lot of
Mm,
people in the last year,
yeah.
and seeing Mad Kurt's name up there
Yeah.
caught me off guard and rocked
Yeah.
me a little bit. So I thought that was a really nice touch. Obviously, like I said, we lost a lot of people and it was
We
nice to
did.
see all the names, but I
Yeah.
kind of almost didn't expect to see him up there. So
Mm.
that was nice to see.
Yeah, it was, and it was a really good 10 bell salute. And loads of names, as you said. We always lose far too many. It seems to be the list grows every year, I think,
Oh,
and
it's
it's not very
it's
nice.
crazy, isn't it?
And on that note, just as we're going to just touch off away from NWA, just on that note, best wishes go out to Vikingo and Chris Bay this week. I don't know if Vikingo I think is okay. I know it's quite a bit of an injury, but Chris Bay is a very serious one from all intents and purposes. I know he has spoken to TNA since he had an injury. It happened on the TNA tapings after Bound for Glory. A GoFundMe is set up for him. I think it's real. They've had some real big. I mean, Edge Adam Copeland donated $10,000, and there's been a lot of good stuff happening. We won't put the GoFundMe on this episode. It will be on the TNA episode this week, but we do lose far too many wrestlers to this, and we're just fortunate that Chris Bay is okay to an extent. Anyway, he is a very serious neck injury, but it was just nice to lead into that after the 10 bell salute, and NWA done a brilliant job of putting all the names up and that nice little I wouldn't say promo, it was a video with all the names that come up and
Yeah.
the 10 bell. So it was very well done from the NWA. And of course, Shockwave, you're all right. But before they got Shockwave, they do have Looks That Kill as well. That's going to be
They do in Dothan, Alabama on I
December.
can't remember the date in
I'm going to say
December.
14th of December, something
14th of
like that.
December. Saturday the 14th of December. Yeah, that's
So
right.
it'll be around when we go on some holidays that we'll be able to watch that if we can watch it. I know you're not going to comment on that, but if we're not going to get Samhain until December, then Looks That
Yeah.
Kill will probably be Valentine's Day. So me and you, candlelit dinner, steak or whatever, and
Markova just staring at you down the camera. Although I'm sure quite a few of you probably quite like that, let's be honest.
Kenzie or Kylie, but that's they are too young for me. So anyway, moving on.
See?
Swiftly. Main event time now. Colby, Corino, and Silas. What was Silas Mason? Did he need to what the hell were them trunks about?
He likes the old school big trunks.
They were bloody luminous green.
I know. Well, you're gonna notice them.
Oh,
I was excited for this match, really excited for this match. I like both of them. I'm a proper old school big hitter wrestler and fan, so I love seeing two big guys just old school wrestling. None of your flippy dippy stuff.
well,
But I do love Colby, and we know that Colby can fly.
yeah.
Um, and Colby is just one of the most talented individuals in that NWA roster, and that's not to take away from anyone else. I just love watching that guy work. So I was really, really excited because the difference in size between the two of them was going to make this a very, very interesting match.
Oh, well, it was, and it certainly did. I loved it. I thought it was a tremendous main event between two guys. The only thing that we'll talk about at the end in a minute, actually, is two great guys, really good back and forth action in this. As you say,
And Colby didn't wait about at the start, total
no,
jump start, which was amazing. Sensible thing to do given that he was against Silas. I do think that was the best option for him.
it was. And you mentioned very abruptly there that he did say about Colby going flying high, and it was ultimately that which did end up kind of costing in the match in a way. He did go to the top quite a lot of times. He then nearly got caught in the thrill ride right near the end of the match, which he did flip into a small package or some kind of roll up. But then he went again to the ropes, and it was at that point when he got caught in a thrill ride. Now I'm not sure whether something happened at the end because once Thrillbilly got the pin, Colby was talking to the ref, and I think even Silas at the same time. I'm not quite sure. I caught it at the end, so I'm not
Okay, I
quite sure if
missed
there
that.
was. Yeah, you may have to see it. There was definitely some communication there. Whether there was a potential injury or something along those, I don't know.
Okay.
But he was talking to the referee, Colby Corino, at the end of it. So I don't know. But it was a great main event.
It was an absolute banger. That backbreaker that Silas
Yeah,
gave to Colby on the ring apron, I was like, holy moly. Like, if he gets up and walks away from that, that's impressive. It was huge.
yeah, it was. It was a big, big backbreaker. But these two should now be looking at um, looking at championships. I know Silas has had some opportunities this year, and then but Colby, I know Colby lost I think Joe Alonso earlier on as well, but they've got to be looking at opportunities now.
Oh, absolutely in a contender's race.
Have to be.
Without a doubt. I don't know who I'd put for the TV championship or the national championship. I'm not sure. Obviously, Silas has held the national championship. Has he held the TV? I'm not sure. Colby's had the junior heavyweight. Can't really class Silas as a junior heavyweight, I
No.
guess. I'd be looking to see these guys in amongst the title fray anyway, and
Yeah.
amongst the challengers, well and truly.
Be interesting if Silas does go for the men's television championship because that's a title still held by Max the Impaler.
I'd
No,
quite
it's
like
not. It's Mims.
Mims. Mims has got it now.
No, not surely Max hasn't lost the men's one.
It was the men's title that Max put on the line. No, oh, Mims is no.
Mims is the national champion.
Mims is the national champion. Yeah.
We're getting there, guys. Sorry, it's been
Sorry, it's been a long day.
a long day, and we talk at tangents a lot of stuff on this. So yes, so for Silas to win the TV title, he would have to go through Max.
I'd quite like to see that
I think that would be a
because
great match.
Max is so strong. They are like ridiculously strong. Max also looks quite tall. I don't think they're on the same level as Silas height, but I think that potentially could be something. I don't think they've had a match before.
I don't recall. I've not since I've been watching.
I don't remember, but I potentially think that could be quite fun to watch, actually.
I
Max
would
versus
like to see it.
Silas.
I would like to see that match. I think it would be a great match. Yeah, I definitely haven't seen it since I've been starting to watch NWA. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that could be good.
You are my knowledge base of NWA. So if that has happened, then I haven't seen it, but I would like to see that match for sure. We'll have to wait and see. But that wraps up. I mean, that is NWA 76 is now in the book. Full Tension swings to Samhain, which we'll probably see in about 6 weeks' time, nearer Christmas, as you say. So we're going to have some Tampa tapings that happened
And
after.
I want to say August.
Yeah, it would have been after 76 or September time, right? Because they've
Yeah,
done the
August, September,
tapings.
they were in Tampa. So
So we get to see those coming up.
I was just going
Hopefully,
to check the
well,
dates of the last Tampa tapings actually, because they'll be on my phone.
you
But
do that. While I see if there's been any announcement yet, because from the
what have
NWA.
we got?
Um,
NWA 76 was on the 31st of August.
so it'd have been mid-September, right?
Hmm. And then Tampa, and I don't, 5th and 6th of, so the first weekend in October they were in Tampa, 5th and 6th of October.
That's quite quick. We're
Yeah.
seeing it.
So
Well, we're going to be in
the beginning
November.
of October they were in Tampa.
So we'll be seeing it beginning of November. So it's about 4 weeks. So if you
Yeah,
look at that, Samhain probably starts December, first week of December.
I would have thought so.
But it shouldn't do because it should be a signature live event, which should air live NWA.
I miss live
I knew
events.
you were going to start with that. That's why I said it. So yes, Full Attention now swings to the tapings, which will swing to Samhain as well. So we'll find out. And again, I suppose in a way, we know that Latimer's the TV. We know that Latimer's the world champion going into Samhain. So we know over the next 4 weeks or so that we watch, assuming we can watch, that he doesn't drop the title. So if he has got a defense, we know he wins, which was a bit obvious anyway. Yeah. But point being is the champions don't change
Yeah, basically.
before we get into Samhain because we knew every championship match has been announced near enough, apart from Out the woman that was our guest last week, Big Mama, her match hasn't been announced yet. So
Okay.
I don't know if well, she is still the champion. That I can tell you because she's on the show with the championship. So
Ah, okay.
the NWA Women's Television Championship. So she does still have that. But big thanks to Big Mama actually for that. It was a great interview. Fee unfortunately missed it. We're obviously too busy with Brutus and so on. With Inside the Ropes. So that's another amazing a couple of shows with Brutus Beefcake. Has any been announced now, or are they? Is it quiet on the Inside the Ropes front at the moment?
Um, there's nothing that I can go public with at the moment.
I get you. I get you. Gotcha. That makes
There's things on the cards for next year, but there's nothing that
cool.
I am at liberty to say at the moment.
That's the main thing, though. There is things in the works for next year for Inside the Ropes, and rightfully so because it is a fantastic shows that they put on. I love going to see them. I need to get down to some more next year. So once they are announced, if when stuff, I'll definitely get down to see some this year. I need to see Kenny. Well, actually, Kenny needs to come on. By the way, Kenny.
I know we spoke about that at the weekend,
Ah,
so he knows, he knows.
I'm only messing Kenny.
I'll chase him up for you, don't worry.
That's all right. Whenever, listen, I know he's a busy man. He's got a lot going on. He does all lots of stuff. So anyway, when he does come on, it'd be great. But yes, Inside the Ropes will be back 2025. At least we can say that.
Absolutely.
And you need to go and watch it. But Fee, just because Inside the Ropes doesn't have anything going on, doesn't mean to say that you don't. What is going on in Fee? And this you're going to say weekend off this way, right?
I have my calendar here. I actually do have a weekend off. November's fairly quiet. I don't have a show until Friday the 8th, and that's with Main Event Entertainment.
Mhm.
Um, and our friend AJ's in the country. He's in the UK right now.
He is. He is.
I will be with AJ on the weekend of the 16th of November. I'll be picking him up from the airport. He has some shows in the Netherlands, and then I'll be picking him up from the airport in Glasgow, and we will be going down to Carlisle to Target Wrestling the weekend of the 16th. I know he does have some other stuff lined up, but I'm really, really excited to see him and hang out, so that'll be cool.
Big
And
undertaking.
then I don't really have a lot going on until the end of the month. We have a huge show with PBW in Dumbarton on the 29th. And then I have Pro Wrestling Scotland on the 30th. But just rewind back to PBW, we had our annual Maximum Impact show on
How
Friday.
was that?
That was incredible. We had over 400 in the door for that in the town hall. We had the balcony fully opened and everything. It's such a beautiful, beautiful venue. Um, I was cacking my pants a little bit before we started, to be honest with you. It was so busy, but the guys did an incredible job with the lighting rig and everything. The show has been filmed
Good.
by our friends at Saltire Media, so the matches will be going out in the coming weeks, not as a full show, but just as individual matches on our YouTube channel, which is great. We had who did we have up? We had Martin Kirby up, we had Harley Hudson up, and we had Rampage Brown up as well,
Oh, I haven't
which was
seen Rampage in
really good
years.
to see. So that was our main event, was Rampage Brown taking on PBW champion Daz Black. So that's definitely one to watch.
What's the YouTube channel called so people can?
It's just Premier British Wrestling. So if you look up for Premier British Wrestling on YouTube,
Oh,
you'll be
that's
able to
oh,
see those matches coming up. There's been quite a lot of uploads of previous shows as well. Not full shows, just single matches. So if you have a wee look, you'll see lots and lots going on, and you might every now and again hear my dulcet tones or see my face.
just they've got a new subscriber with me right now.
Yay!
Commission whoever owns PBW. There you go. You got a number one, and you can pay Fiona a bit extra for that. So you had your big show. It's quite a month. Yeah, it's quite a month actually. November tends to be lots of final shows of the year going on,
Mm,
which brings me nicely to Ignite. Their final show of the year, literally 2 days or a couple of days after I get back from my holidays, is their final show of the year, 24th of November. The card is locked in actually, which actually gives me a good chance to go and get my phone back and give you the matches. Have they locked all the card in? Yeah, they have. So Yeah, here we go. Battle of the former champions. The former Ignite champion Chris Aries, or used to be Adonis Payne, will be taking on former Turnbuckle champion Smashing Mike, and they will also be taking on the returning Jay Joshua in a triple threat
Hmm.
match. We'll have Taylor James with Tall Tom Mercer. Tall Tom being 7 foot, good big old boy.
Sounds like our own Sky High Colton Davis that we've got over here
There
or
you
up
go.
here.
There you go. And they'll be, and Taylor, who's the Call Your Shot Gauntlet champion, still hasn't cashed in that championship opportunity yet. He'll be taking on the debuting KM Lane, which is he's a very a cool cat, big afro hair, and he's getting the bounty. That's his thing. And what is his theme song? It's going to throw me now. Oh, it's annoying. I can't remember it. That's going to bug the hell out of
Does
me
that
now.
mean we don't get to hear you sing?
Yeah, that does mean you're not going to get to hear me
Damn
sing,
it.
which is so disappointing. If I remember it, I will sing it. In the women's action, we have a Luna against the returning Chantel Jordan. Now,
Nice. I like Chantel. Or
those of you
Chantal,
that
I
come
should
to
say.
our last show saw a Luna and Sapphire tear the place down, and a really more aggressive side of a Luna come out to
She'll
play.
need that with Chantal.
Yeah, that's exactly reading into nicely what I was going to say. Was going to have to be a bit more aggressive, for example, against Chantel, because Chantel was one aggressive lady, shall we say, and that's going to be a really good.
Phenomenal talent.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm actually just going to message Rachel and see if she remembers what KN Lane's theme song is while we're here, because you want me to sing it, and I'm going to have to.
What for?
I'll hang on. Let's see if she knows what it is. Well, I'll message her while I run down the card still. No disqualification match. Nino Bryan and everyone's favorite wrestler over here, Truman Roswell, who can't seem to get a win about being controversial, especially at Ignite. So he won his Ignite roster contract by beating Nino at the last show. Nothing to do with him throwing Nino's brother in the line of fire
Nothing at all.
at all. And in the Turnbuckle Championship match, which is going to tear the absolute bejesus off the place, the Turnbuckle title match will be suspended in a tag team match this time, which
Mm.
pits Turnbuckle champion Mr. Mark True and his close personal friend Kieran Lacey against close personal friends Danny Black and Joe Lando. Should either member of CPF pin either member of True or Lacey, the person that gets the pin will be champion. But Mark has specifically said that if Kieran Lacey picks up the victory, that his teammate, that he retains the title. So Kieran
Of
will,
course.
of course, he wouldn't have it any other way. And in the main event of the evening, Tommy Kyle will defend the Ignite Wrestling Pro Championship against the Vulture Spike Trivet. So that will be a debuting Spike Trivet. And that should be a hell of a show for Ignite. 75 to 80% of tickets have already gone. So make sure you
Shenley
get them.
Road?
Huh?
Shenley Road?
Shenley Road.
Shenley
You know,
Road.
you've been there. You was in there. The
I have
buckle up
indeed.
one. Oh, buckle up free. No news on that yet. So
Oh, I was like, oh, what? Okay.
no news. Not even a conversation yet been had regarding that. But yeah, so get down to Shenley Road 96 Eventbrite for that. Go and check Ignite out. Put Ignite in. It will come up. You'll get your tickets. As I said, not many left, so make sure you do. Unfortunately, Rachel hasn't returned the text message, so with that in mind, that you'll have to wait for some
And see,
singing. For some singing, she's just being very rude and not messaging me. But anyway, on that note, well, assuming we can do this next week, assuming NWA is on, shall we do this next week?
I think we shall.
In that case, everybody, keep it looked at HCT Buckle on X, HCT Buckle on YouTube, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, and all other social media outlets. Dropping tomorrow, everyone, Eric Bishop's year in review with us. It was tremendous. We loved it. We loved Eric on. We'll see Eric back on the channel in 2025, but that drops tomorrow. It's a not to be missed one. Check that out. Big Mama will drop next week as well, which is another fantastic interview. So make sure you check that out. And as Fee said, as long as we can watch NWA, we'll be back next week. But until then, everybody, buckle down, stay safe.
Good night.